What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90, and we have got a video for you. I went to the game yesterday, just to let you know, and it was just before we get into some of the specifics of it. I think I tweeted out about the game, and you've all seen it, but I want to give my kind of takes and from being at the game as well. Um, First of all, obviously the way that we played was fantastic, and I was expecting going into it. I tweeted out about just do the basics, Ruud. Just do a 4-4-2. Keep it simple. You've only had a one training session with them, and just as you can see by the title, confidence is everything in this game. Well, we all know that because let's be honest, that team that got relegated from the Premier League should have never got relegated. But confidence played such a big issue; it was just sucked out of the team and the players that they didn't, and we ended up getting relegated, and we were one of the worst three teams in the league. So I don't think anybody can say that we didn't deserve it. Ruud's come in, and I had a go at this team, and you've probably seen it on the channel where I've gone, what on earth was that? And within a session, he's transformed them. Now, am I expecting this to continue? No, but oh my god, confidence is everything. And in this game, it showed players that have been out, players that the fans have written off, including myself, came into the game and performed. Now, the players that started, I'll just give you the starting lineup for this one. The 4-2 it said we played a 4-2-3-1. I don't really agree, but I'll get into the specifics. So this was the team that started. We'll get into that in just a second. But overall, the team that started was hit the back four. We've seen Justin and we've seen Christensen. Let's be honest, with Ricardo out, that's our best fullback duo. Then we saw something really interesting. Okoli wasn't fit, and I've got a feeling that Okoli is going to play more. But you've got Connor Cody, who I slagged off. I can't lie. I was like, is this the best you got? He was much better in this game. And if you thought, and nobody thought about including Connor Cody and Yannick Vestergaard, but their leadership was great. I love the way that they would push back. We'll get into some of the Ruud system in a second. Vestergaard was great. He only played 658 minutes, I think, before he came off. Really impressed with him. He's doing what he does best and taking the balls in tight spaces, playing some lovely 1-2 balls into the midfielders, which we'll get into in a second. I really enjoyed Vestergaard. Was he as fluid as he was under Enzo? No, it's a slightly different formation. Let's get into that in a bit. I think this is the loudest the King Power's been, and I don't go to a majority of games. I'll be honest. And let's compare him to the managers we had previously. So let's compare him to Enzo first. Is his style similar to Enzo? Yes and no, but mostly yes. When we played under Enzo Maresca, it was one formation. We stuck and we died by that. Now in this game, we had multiple formations. We had different. Ruud was being proactive instead of reactive compared to Steve Cooper. He knew what he was doing. Where Steve Cooper would look to mention, "What do I do now?" The team was dejected of confidence. In one session, he's able to do that. I'm so excited about what he can do for us. And the King Power really enjoyed it because there was an element of playing out from the back, but there was an element of pragmatism, and it gave there's a balance between the Enzo system, which was all this is the formation, this is the way we play. When we've got this ball in this position, you do one of two things. If you don't do it, pass it back. We'll start again until we find that option for you. I think he's changed his tactics now coming into Chelsea, and he's adapted and matured as a manager, which as you can expect, especially being at a big club like Chelsea with the star players that they've got. But Ruud really gave this lovely balance of the fans were really happy. What I really loved is at times, especially that first half, we were under the cosh, we were under pressure. Overall in the game, we had 39% possession. It felt like a lot more. But what we did is we set up with a nice mid block. What do we mean by mid block? So a 4-4-2 is a legendary formation used by Claudio Ranieri. I don't need to explain that one too much. But the difference was all of these players would have been pushed way further back. For example, Robert Huth and Wes Morgan as a centre-back duo. Oh, I've got Fast in. Should it be Cody? Even though Fast came on, we'll get into that in a second. Were playing relatively high in the possession. They would, but also it wasn't. So the idea is, and I was watching it. live, they'd shorten the pitch so there's less passing opportunities for the opposition. We keep it nice and compact. And it's something that we wanted from the likes of people that wanted Cobra, and I was the same way. Keep it nice and compact so they can't pass through the sides, and we keep it compact. The players as well bought into that. There was blocks off the line from the likes of Justin, Vestergaard. There was people caring and effort, and that's all we want as fans. Even if we lose 5-0, can we just see some effort? And we saw that today. Today in the game. Bit late with this one, bit of full of cold, but I'm trying to get something out. I've been wanting to do something on this match because there's so many positives to take from it. Christensen, I thought had a really good game. I think that might be, apart from the Villa game, that's the best I've seen Christensen play. At times, he was bombing up. He was bombing up this side again. It's not the formation, but he was bombing right up this side. And I saw I saw Ruud come back a bit. And now's not the time to do it. So he picked his battles. He played. I can't remember who it was on that right hand side. Whoever that was, he played him really, really well. Physically, you're seeing good Christensen behavior. He actually got an assist in this game as well, which I believe was for the second goal. But no, sorry, for the third goal, and that really impressed me. If I can get up someone I forgot to get up the third goal. I've not got anything to lose, but I just thought I'd mention it. For the third goal, we'll get into Pat Sadaka because it's another player that's just looked so full of confidence. On that left-hand side, it starts with him. And instead of like hoofing it long and have an opportunity, they play out of a tight spot. And I noticed this a lot. The defensive line. So what will happen is that when we had the ball, Manson would get it, and then you'd have Vestergaard and Connor Cody either side, and they'd pass it between. And there's a couple of people behind me who were going, "Oh, we're playing out from the back. I don't like it. I don't like it." But they were looking for the opportunity to play, and it worked so many times. It's like it's the muscle memory. Bearing in mind, Enzo's was only less than 15 games ago, 12 games ago. We were playing 15 games, including cup games. We were playing the Enzo way. So a lot of that is built into people. Now we've saw something different. Vestergaard, I thought was great at that. We'll talk about the substitution in a second. Connor Cody, I think he knew what he was doing, especially when he moved to a back three. So in general, when we were out of possession, when we were in possession, it was a 4-4-2. Christians would come back, and then there's a 4. James Justin, I mentioned, he did lose the ball in some key areas in the first half. And I think this is where you're going to see the likes of Ricardo when he's fit. Get gutted for him that he's not ready for this. I think he would have loved the way that we're playing, the little passing triangles we're creating, and the little box midfield we mentioned a second. But JJ did really, really well, blocking off the line, giving effort, tackles. Sometimes he does rush on the ball, or he doesn't quite get the ball into where he needs to do. I'm not going to blame him too much again, but it's not really his forte. But I think he did really well in the game. But yeah, just mention all the back four. I think we're really, really good. Let's get back into some of these formations, what we've got. So it was a back four, but again, Christensen would push up and come right to this side at times. I want to mention the 2 6s, because I don't think it was more of a, for me, Enzo mentioned 2 6s. I saw it more as a 6 and 8, and I'll tell you why that is. Wolford and Diddy was sublime. Genuinely so good. The amount of times he just cleared the ball, even from corner set pieces, he was the one getting his head on it. Just taking the ball and playing the kind of in classic in Diddy 6 that he was playing. However, he was still decent. People were slating him around me. I still think he was good with his feet. He wasn't the best, but let's speak about the other man. Boubakary Samare. Oh my God. What a performance. And I'm really shocked that he got so low in the sofa score, and it is based on stats. But in the game, especially when we got the possession of the ball, he would run. You forget how physical he is. Getting the ball, playing it quick to somebody, no problem. Got the ball, play it off to Connor Cody, 1-2 little nice within Diddy, play it over. He was quarterback in that role. And if he keeps this up, I'm sorry, Harry Winks, I don't know how you get into the team, because he offers you that physicality, which I think Enzo's looking for. And I think by the players he chose and even the players that came on, he does like a physical team. Again, it's only been one game, but just my thoughts. Samori was, for me, man of the match. the way he struts around the field. And normally he struts on the field, that normally means a negative thing because he's like, come on, put an effort in. Come on, lad, do more. Um, I really enjoy his performance. His little 1-2s, he's making it effortless. Like he's not even. I mean this in the most positive way possible. He's not even trying. It's like he's moving into some. He's weaving in positions. Hey, give me the ball. Okay, cool. Give me it back. Hey, I'll put it over there. I'll put it over here. Where do you want it? I'll give it you. Um, he was getting in some lovely positions as well. So Vestergaard, I think, because they can play ball quite well and they're quite physical. Vestergaard would get the ball, invite the pressure, and then they would go round. So it's a fluid style, and I was there within the first 5 minutes of the game, and I said this is better than Cooper, what we've seen in 12 games. The time that Cooper really worked is when he went back to Enzo system and let the players do what he can do. I've been so impressed with them, and the pressing as a unit was sublime. These players were crying out for just some direction, something to get behind, and Steve Cooper never gave it them. And within 5 minutes of this game, again to mention, they were just great. The pressing triggers, they would press as a unit, they'd go up, they would harry, Jamie Vardy would leave from the front. A couple of times, I think there was one time where he took one player out. I think Ndidi took another player out as well. But it just shows they care. And the King Power loves a good old-fashioned tackle. Even if it goes off a little bit wrong, you get a yellow, the King Power will stand up and applaud you. And there was elements of that in the game, battling for corners. Now, West Ham are quite a physical team, and there are people that I've seen that said they've got away with one. I think that was an element of it. Speaking to Mike, who we spoke about, who we had a preview with, was mentioning that they just can't finish their chances. They got into good positions, but they couldn't finish. And I was, again, deeply impressed just from minute one. And about 20 minutes in, I know we scored in the first minute, less than 2 minutes, which was great. And we'll get into that in a second. But I was just I felt so much relief. The fact that I believe in this team and I believe the quality that we have. And after the last game, people were saying, how many Premier League quality players do we have? And they said, what, Jamie Vardy, Mads Manson, Mavididi, Buonanotte, and that's it. And to see that the way they turned up in one session, the power of coaching is incredibly important. And we can't make this mistake again. If Ruud does go, and I know I'm mentioning it all, don't mention Ruud going. If he does move on to the next level, we have to get the right manager in. And we know how much of a difference it can make, even with the same manager like Brendan Rodgers, how far you can fall when confidence is an issue. And it was just really fun to watch. And it was exciting. It was you could see what the players have bought into what Ruud was doing, and credit to Top for what he did. He came in, and it's kind of like, I don't know if everybody's remembered you growing up, and your mum comes home and the house is a tip. And then you've got and you go, what is going on? I think he just had a big meltdown. He saw what happened on social media that's going around. He obviously saw that the manager wasn't doing his job. So he just sacked him off, right, brought in him, and then had a scold at the players. But they had a point to prove, and it wasn't against Brentford, where we played good for 20 minutes, and after that it just went. But this one was a lot better. Getting back into some of the formations, but Ndidi, I think, was classic Ndidi. Clearing it up, firefighting, give me the ball, no problem. And what's nice is that when he gets the ball and he takes it, I love the fact that he's going, look, I'm not really great with the ball at my feet. Booba, here you go. And Booba goes, no problem. Give me the ball. The dribbling and his pace and ability to get around players and play it off. And one ball there, as mentioned. I think he's great. And I think they complement each other really, really well. I thought that with Winks out of the team, I thought Skip would start ahead of Samore. But that was a good decision, considering the fact that Vestergaard's got not very much pace, and same with Connor Cody. He's got more pace, but not saying much, is it? I think they worked really well as a unit, and I want to get in some of the attacking players. I mean, Jamie Vardy, the intelligent runs he was making, not just for the goal, but at times to go and press. And I saw it's going to take me a while to say Enzo. It's taking a while for Ruud was like, get in the centre. Get in the centre. We'll get the other players to do the running for you. And Bilal and McAteer, etc. And speaking of that, the way that we worked it for the first goal was brilliant. And the fact that we were 1-0 up, it just put a massive, because it was typical Vardy, wasn't it? That goal. And Bilal is another player I want to mention. I think he needs to do more defensively, and he does switch off. He kind of, I mean this in the most positive way possible. He reminds me of Mahrez. Mahrez came in, I think he was slightly older than when he came in compared to Bilal, but Bilal plays with so much maturity for a 20-year-old, with the ability to, again, he does come back and he does track back, but I think he needs to, at times he can switch off a little bit. But I don't want to criticize, I just want to get the negatives out of the way, because he had a up there with Samori in terms of man of the match performance to me. Absolutely sublime, getting on the ball, getting an assist. And the assist he played for Bardi, again, he's another player. He doesn't need to think, he just needs to do. And he's got ball round, and the way it curved round into the path of Vardy, and you give Vardy balls like that, he's like, any day, mate. Give them me, I'll eat them up, no problem. Vardy gets the first goal. His dribbling was really good. His ability to play, and we've got loads of players. I think the spine of the team, we've got a player that can get the ball and play in the next pass. So Vestergaard at the back, you've got Samore, and then you've got Karius is the box midfield. Buonanotte, I thought was good. I think he just needs a bit of adapting. I think he's used to playing as the single number 10. Now in this formation, obviously, we're not going to play with a single number 10. But I think Buonanotte was good. I think he would have been bought off if Karius didn't get injured. Hopefully, I don't think it's too serious. But Buonanotte was playing, and I think against the game against Brighton, he's going to be out for that. So it'll be interesting what we do, because obviously he's not available to play against his parent club. I thought it was good. Casey, some people were slating Casey. I think Casey's just lacking confidence. A few times, I think a manager just needs to get his arm around him and going, you can do this. At times, when we were on the there was times where we wouldn't just play that football, we would play counter-attack. We'd win the ball in the midfield and we'd be charging at West Ham. And West Ham do play a more counter-attacking style, but they had more possession in the game. And we'd be charging them, and the fans are go, 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 go. Jamie Vardy's not got the pace he used to, but he's still got the finishing. Buonanotte would get the ball, and Casey just needed to make that run and commit a little bit more, have more confidence in his own ability. Because we saw last season when he's on something, it's a bit like Barnes. When he's going and he can finish, we know Casey can finish. He is keeping Fatawa out of the team. Remember, he can finish, and he just needs to keep. At times, he would just slow off a little bit too much. I think he needs to trust the fact that you've got Ndidi behind him. He's got Justin behind that can cover. If you go, then you've got to come back. Yes, of course. But you've got the players and the quality in behind to intercept, to win the ball back if we need to. But then we need you on the counter, and we need to use your pace in behind. He had one shot that I think was over the top of the bar in the second half. I won't get off the lad too much. I think for his first performance, I think he was great. I think he was a 6.5. And considering a lot of people were not keen on him, I say it's late here. Still feeling a bit ill. But anyway, I really enjoyed his performance. And then it was really good. And to see some of the players, let me open up the formation, because we played a box midfield. And as mentioned, so we mentioned, even out of possession, here's the ball here coming in. James Justice's got the ball. So you've got Cody here. You've got Vestergaard of it. It's really bad screenshot. This is from Tactica. I'll leave his below. This thread and some of the tactical analysis is really good. Again, he'd play the ball over again. Casey here, 1-on-1, just off, go. And we're creating that. As you can see, you've got the three, and then you got the 2. But the box midfield is different to Enzo's. Ricardo used to come right alongside and defend alongside Winks, who would then choose to play. This was more of a staggered box. So you've got 6, you've got 8, and then you've got your 2 number 10s here in Buonanotte. And I believe that's Christensen and Karius. So, of course, the box shift shapes, and it's more of a man-on-man. But I thought it was really good. Really, really well. Really well placed. and I really enjoyed some of the football we were playing. But we just need to be a little bit more tight with certain things. Jamie Vardy's running intelligent, and we pick our times to go and counter. The mid press helps because we shorten the pitch. We can then decide to play in different positions and to play around certain bits. Again, I don't want to use too much tactical stuff because it's really good, and I really want to recommend you check out that thread below. But he breaks it down, and he knows his stuff. I think he mentions it here actually. Let me see if I can find it. It's like a staggered 4-3-3. He went to a 3-2-4-1. But that's how it was as well. So again, you've got McAteer, you've got the 10 in Buonanotte, but also to the left-hand side, you've got El Canoes playing in this left kind of position as well. And then the advantage of this is that you've got the dribbling from Buonanotte and the opportunity to take on. You've got El Canoes, who's better at that, but you've got the dribbling from Casey. Now, when Fatawu comes back into the team, boy, because at times Casey took on his man one-on-one, and that's something that that Fatawu absolutely loves. The fact that he's on a one-on-one in the team, and he can take on his man. And we'll see. It changed a little bit in the second half, and I'll mention some of the statistics and formations later. But he was brilliant. I think the first half went in 1-0. I thought it was a great performance. They did again. Some of the negatives, we conceded 31 shots. Now there's something that's going to improve. They couldn't hit anything in the game, but we need we need the confidence and to score 3 goals. We've not scored 3 goals since the first game. So since the Southampton game. And again, as you can see here, the box was relatively tight. We kept the average position in the first half. We kept the mid press quite well. But at times we weren't afraid when we had the ball in the opposition's half, we would push everybody up and start to play. In the second half, we got a bit more confidence and we started to play a little bit more. So let me show you. So that was the average formation in the first half. When the subs came on, I will mention some of the subs because substitutes. You can see that they started to push a lot more higher up. Ruud again came on. We've got 18. Forgot who that is. Daka's 20, and then Mavididi. Oh, it's Ayu when Ayu came on. But as you see, the team started to press up a lot more, and that really worked in our favour. We've mentioned the first goal, the second goal. Brilliant by El Canoes finishing, and the sustained pressure and the fact that we're going to get more confidence. And his celebration, he absolutely loved it. You've all seen the video of the socks by now as well. I imagine where he's wearing Jamie Vardy's socks for extra grip, and I really enjoyed his performance. There's a way he took the goal, and the celebrations afterwards. Brilliant. Absolutely. The fact he's 20, we've got him on a 4-year deal. And if he keeps performing like that, wow. Wow. Then I keep saying Enzo. Keep saying Ruud did something that I wasn't sure. So in 58 minutes, he took off 2 players. He took off Jamie Vardy and he took off Vestergaard. And I'm thinking, uh-oh. And he puts on Walt Fast, who was like one of these. Let's be honest, Walt Fast. And Daka. And Daka was a player that has had no confidence, just like the title. Confidence is everything. Let's be honest, that was under Steve Cooper. He's missing that. He is absolutely missing that. But the way that Christensen plays the ball, a brilliant ball over, and Daka just picks Kilman's pocket, boom, and he's round. And we think, go on, Patser. We think he was going to go just like cut in and then put it in the right hand side. I think Fabianski was thinking the same thing. But he hits it with power and pace, and he goes, hold this, Fabianski. Bang into the corner. And Fabianski didn't know what to do. I thought that was a great performance. And I'm so glad that Patson got that goal. I just want to show you some of the celebrations regarding that, because they've put it all over LCFC, because and rightfully so, because there were so many good things regarding that. Let me see if I can find the video. Well, that speaks for itself. That gives you a bit of chills. You know that Patson always does this afterwards, but that one in itself regarding that one. Let's see if I can find the next post. No, it's not the next post. But again, that was in front of the cop, which was great to see. And then I just want to show you, even after one game, the feeling that we have as a team, all togetherness. Let me put this up on screen. I think I should be able to share this. What are they going to do? Take away demonetization? By the way, I appealed. They said no, for whatever reason. Case, but just the energy around some of this team, and these again, it was just some of these players played off. Even people like Samore, who's relatively like relaxed. It was just they just looked like such a team, such confidence, such a unit on such a game. It was brilliant. And then afterwards, he does that as well. But it was just such a good performance. Mavididi came on, looked a little bit leggy in my opinion. I don't know if it was the cold or it was the fact because he's come on for 2 sub appearances and he didn't look as quick and pacey as I know Mavididi can look. He didn't take on his man as much, but hopefully that can improve. Jordan Ayew came on, did a job. Really, it was good. Ran it into the corner a little bit more. And player that I've been talking about, who I thought would be, who I thought could thrive in this team, and I think I might be wrong on this. I think he could play in that box midfield as a number 10 when Bonanos is out. Ruud. I think he did well. I nearly got a goal if it wasn't offside. That was, and it's not been mentioned on the highlights, which I was surprised at. But there was another goal that was just offside. I think it was Jamie Vardy, and then it came across. Fabianski parries it straight into Road, who's in that position to finish. And I think we're going to see a lot more of him. I think he's one to look out for. Leadership. Is he going to start every game? No, but I think he'd come on and could be a super sub, just like Jordan Ayew. Both similar age, but what he gives you a lot more technical ability than Jordan. Jordan gives you more of a workhorse mentality. And there's definitely some things I'm missing because I could talk about this team for ages and I'm cautious getting on for 30 minutes. I'm so happy with the team and what Ruud managed to do in one session. Technically, there was 2, but it was for the players that weren't there. But if we notice, there is a box, and this is how it kind of set up, I think. So Cody and Vestergaard, and it's mentioned, when we have the ball, when Hermansen comes out a little bit more, and they bring them both either side to play the ball. And some of the fans go, "Oh, we're playing risky football." It's risky when it needs to be. Enzo potentially was now looking at Ruud, and again, it's only been in a game. He's overly risky and overly wants to commit. But there's a time and a place, and I think we're going to get the Enzo system, but with more pragmatism. And I think the fans will buy into that a lot more. There's going to be more options to play. When we had the 4-4-2, people were really behind it, going, "Okay, I can see what you're doing. It's tight at the back. We can see we're not being left exposed if we do lose the ball." And we do win the ball, we know how to counter attack. We know how to dribble. We've got players around there. Then he brings on at 58 minutes Walt Fass for Vestergaard, and I thought there wasn't a lot of people that were happy because he's not been great, has he? He's been dropping some stinky performances, not just stinky performances, and he's still arrogant about it. I think Fast he had one mistake that was like, oh, that's a typical Fast mistake. Other than that, he was pretty solid throughout the entire game. As mentioned before, like Patson Daka came on and he ran his socks off for the team and he gave effort and he got his goal. It was a great example of that. It was all him. It was Christiansen with a brilliant ball, but after that, it was all him to win the ball, to nick it off Kilman, to put it in the back of the net. Hermansen made some. I forgot to 29 minutes. I not mentioned Hermansen. Kept in that game once again. Made some credible saves. All it was lacking was that clean sheet, which again they scored in the 93rd minute. But I've never heard a 93rd minute them mentioned in such a way. So really happy with what Ruud's done with us and already, and just a massive thank you because I believe that's why that's also dejected. You saw how I was when I was like the monetizations come in, the team playing rubbish, the manager doesn't care, the owners don't care. I didn't think Steve Cooper was going anywhere anytime soon, and I was like, I'm just fed up with this. I just don't want it. I'm not interested. And just credit to Top for doing that, and credit to Ruud for just doing the basics, doing things really well. He's got a great squad. And I believe in this squad, and that's why I was so annoyed because I was like, man, Harry Winks isn't this bad a player. Man, D. Cordova-Reid isn't this bad a player. Jamie Vardy isn't this bad a player. What is happening to this team? Madsen Manson he was the only probably shining star. Buonanotte was trying to do everything on his own. This team isn't as bad as they're making out to be. They're not. And think about this squad. We've still got a Coley to come back in. It'll be interesting to see how he fits in a Coley over the likes of Vestergaard, and we might decide to play him in if we play a more offensive, more attacking style. And who he comes in for, because it's most likely he's going to play on the left, as we mentioned. It'll be interesting to see again for Tau what he can do in the team. It'll also be interesting to see what Ricardo can do in the team. I think them three players, specifically Ricardo and specifically Fatau, will absolutely love it, and they're buzzing. The team, it's the relief. I think that's what it is, of just being dragged into the mud and being set up not to lose the entire time, and now to come in and play like this. I'm over the moon. I genuinely am, and just a massive thank you to Ruud for what he's done. We were so dejected, and considering that's only a few days away from the Brentford game, I'm so happy. It'll be interesting to see what he does against Bournemouth. Brighton. I don't care if we lose because I've seen that the team have confidence a little bit, and even if we set up a little bit more pragmatic, because they're a really expressive, expansive team playing experimental football. Even if we just set up 4-4-2 and we kind of keep it tight and see if we can hit them on the break, we could do something. But I'm not expecting. Again, I'm really happy if we get absolutely pammed. I can see a style. I can see a formation. I can see a process to get behind. I can see players growing in confidence throughout the game, trying things that are more experimental with the knowledge that players behind them will clean up. The likes of Ndidi and Samori can just go, don't worry, you do the experimental stuff, we'll figure it out. Jamie Vardy is dropping back and being really intelligent with his runs. I could talk about this for so much more, and there's probably things that I've missed. Jordan Ayew came on, did a job. Reid, I think, was good. Walt Fast came on, did a good job as well. Mavididi did look a bit leggy, but I think he could understand what he was trying to do. I'm over the moon, man, because I've just been waiting for just somebody to give me hope, and I've got the hope back. And I just stood there literally in tears, of like slow kind of tears, going, "This is." I knew they could do it. I just needed somebody to believe in them, so I believed in them, but nobody else. I won't say nobody else did, but the manager didn't. The ownership didn't feel like they did. And I'm over the moon, man. So again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe with it. There won't be a preview, unfortunately, but you'll be able to find the post-match over on Blue Tinted Glasses, link in the chat, where I'll be probably going live with Luke and Anil. So make sure you check over there. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.